Alrighty, I think I might have been transmitting on the wrong mode. Any stations out there able to give me a mic check, please?
V9 Victor Echo Alpha, V9 Delta Victor Delta, V9 Victor Echo Alpha, back to you.
Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo Alpha. Appreciate that, Vern. Did you hear any of my preamble, or was I not getting through?
What was that again?
Just curious if you heard any of my announcement for the net tonight, or if this is the first time you're hearing me on frequency.
That's the first time I heard you. I never heard anything else. I was wondering if it was going to be a net or my software still freaked up. And, but I didn't get any of the prelude and the preamble or nothing like that. V9 DVD, V9 Victor Echo Alpha.
Same report here, Dan. Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie.
I'll start over again. Didn't lose too much time here, but we'll get going. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Maritime Fusion Net. Before we get started, do we have any emergency or priority traffic for the net? Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie. Appreciate that, Gord. Looks like we'll get this going again. This is Victor Echo 1 Delta Victor Bravo, and my name is Dan. I will be your net controller for tonight's net. This net meets every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Atlantic, or a couple of minutes late when I'm in the wrong mode. Hi. And it is in the CQ Maritimes room 60207. This net is also streaming live on YouTube via Rob, VE1RMT's channel, so that everyone can follow the net and participate in the chat room. Amateurs will be called in by province. When you check in, press your call sign using proper phonetics. After maritime stations are called in, stations from outside the area will have a chance to check in. First of all, do we have any announcements for the net this evening? Alrighty then, we're going to start with our short time and mobile stations. Any short time or mobile stations wishing to check in, please come now with your call sign.
Victor Yankee 2 Golf Foxtrot.
Victor Alpha 6 Foxtrot Papa. Two fine stations right there. I get Victor Yankee 2 Golf Foxtrot and Victor Alpha 6 Foxtrot Papa. Any other stations that are short time or mobile?
Victor Echo 9 Mike Kilo Mobile.
And I get Victor Echo 9 Mike Kilo Mobile. Back with you in 1 second, sir. We're going to start with George over on the island. Victor Yankee 2 Golf Foxtrot. Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Dan, everybody on the net, and thank you for doing the net. Well, it was a busy day. I got a hurry-up call this morning at 10 o'clock, wanting to know if I could make an appointment in Charlottetown to have my eyes checked at 11, and I made it. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll certainly look forward to the net next Wednesday. Victor Yankee 2 Golf Foxtrot.
VY2 Golf Foxtrot. Good evening to you, George. Sounds like you had a busy day for yourself there. Glad everything's okay with the peepers. Always a good thing to have for an amateur anyway. Read the right frequencies properly. Hi. Appreciate you checking in, sir. Appreciate you adding the bean to the pod, and we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Yankee 2 Golf Foxtrot, V1DVB. Next, we're going to call in Victor Alpha 6 Foxtrot Papa. Good evening. Go ahead.
Victor Echo 1, Delta Victor Bravo from Victor Alpha 6 Foxtrot Papa. Good evening to you, Dan. Good evening to everyone on the net this evening. Thank you very much for letting me check in early. I've got to leave very shortly to pick up the grandkids at school, so don't have a whole lot of time to stick around. And on that, I just got back from the dental office, so if I sound kind of funny, well, frozen mouth problem. I'm trying to get this thing to work, and it's not working the best anyway. Other than that, very nice day here today. Plus, I think I got up around plus 4 degrees, plus 5, somewhere around there. Unfortunately, it's going to head down tomorrow night again for the next 3 days, and then it's supposed to warm up again on Sunday. But at least it's not like it was last week when we had the low minus 20s and pushing into the minus 30s with the wind chill. Other than that, no other traffic from here. Hope everyone has a great week, and we'll say 7-3 all around. VE1DVB from VA6FP 73.
VA6FP, good evening to you, sir. Appreciate you coming in while you had a second. Important duty, having to get off to the grandkids there and make sure you perform those grand. You can't shirk that responsibility. Hi. And you're coming through loud and clear and legible. Wouldn't know you had a frozen face if you didn't tell us. Hi. Yeah, we had about 2 degrees here in Nova Scotia, my part of Nova Scotia, up here on the hills outside of Westville. And it's going to get a little cold tonight, but then we're going to get about 5 degrees tomorrow, so in the last little while, so hopefully it starts taking it with it. Appreciate you checking in, sir. You have a safe drive there this evening, or this afternoon for you. And we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Alpha 6 Foxtrot Papa, VE1DVB 73. Call in Victor Echo 9 Mike Kilo Mobile. Good evening. Come on in. Victor Echo 9 Mike Kilo Mobile. Are you there with us, sir? Did you travel out to the range of the tower? Hi. Come on in, Victor Echo 9 Mike Kilo. All right, we'll give him a shout again in a little bit, see if he gets back into the range of the tower. We're going to go ahead and call in stations from Prince Edward Island. Any PEI stations wishing to check into the Wednesday Night Fusion Net, please come now with your call sign. Any PEI stations wishing to check in, any stations from Prince Edward Island, please come now with your call sign. Alrighty then, moving right along over to New Brunswick, La Belle Province. We're going to call in stations from New Brunswick. Stations from New Brunswick, please come now with your call sign.
9, Victor Echo Alpha.
9 Sierra Victor.
Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie.
Three fine stations right there. I got Victor Echo Alpha, I got Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie, and I got Victor Echo 9 Sierra Victor. Did we miss anyone in that block from New Brunswick? Please come now. Alrighty then, starting at the top of the Brunswick list, we're going to call in Vern. Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo Alpha. Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Victor Bravo. Maritime Fusion Net Control. Good evening, Dan. Good evening to all. Fine, outstanding hams on frequency there for sure. And coming up behind me. Well, Dan, it was nice to hear you come in there because I was wondering if my software was working or not for the node, and was sure music in my ears to hear your voice come on there, I'll tell you that. And I know it's working there tonight, and that's a good thing. It's kind of the way it's showing on the computer. I'm not sure if it's working or not because the screens that should come up for it aren't coming up. Anyhow, we'll go from there. We'll fix that up tomorrow, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyhow, Dan, you're doing a fine job. You got a fantastic audio voice for the net controller, that's for sure. I'm glad to hear everything's going good in Westville, Nova Scotia. I haven't got a clue where Westville is over there. I'm a Nova Scotian originally, but I don't know if I was ever in Westville or not. But maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. And maybe it's not that big a place. And I went right through and didn't know it, so there you go. Anyhow, Dan, you're doing a fine job. Well, we're just going to say 734 88 radio, special good evening scanner listeners. Turn it back to the VE1 Delta Victor Bravo, Wednesday Night Fusion Net Control. And thanks for calling me in one more time doing the net. Also, Dan, and thanks for putting up with the foolishness one more time. Hopefully we'll be around again next week there and break the airways again. 73073, bye-bye.
Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo Alpha. Good evening to you, Vern. Always a pleasure to hear from you, sir. Yeah, paying attention is a very good skill for a ham operator, especially when you're a net controller. I started the net right at 7 p.m. I went through the preamble. I tried to call in the short time and mobile stations. Then when I wasn't hearing anyone, I looked at the radio and realized I was transmitting in FM mode, not in fusion mode. Hi. Open the eyes, Dan. Get prepared. And just for your education, Westville is about 10 to 15 minutes to the east of New Glasgow. So I'm in Pictou County, up on top of a large hill. I suppose if I said I was outside of New Glasgow, people would understand where I was more often. But I like Westville. It's a nice little town. Tiny little place, one post office, one tall, small grocery store, and a highway. But it's a beautiful part of the world, and I like being from outside of Westville. I'm actually in a place called Millbrook, but not that Millbrook. I'm right on the county line between Salt Springs and Millbrook, which is about 10 minutes west. Westville is west of New Glasgow, and I'm 10 minutes west of Westville, up in the hills. Definitely like being a country boy out here, and I'm 600 feet above sea level, so I got lots of altitude for me antennas. Always a pleasure to hear from you, Vern. Happy to put up with your foolishness any night of the week, and we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo Alpha, VE1 DBB 73. Let's go up to Notre Dame and talk to Gord. Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie, good evening, sir. Come on in.
Well, good evening, Dan. VE1 DVB with the Maritime Fusion Net. Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie, Gordon here in Notre Dame, where it's a very pleasant -4 degrees. Had a really nice day today. Didn't quite break the any records. It was only got to a high of -1.3, but it was a nice sunny day, and that was nice. So got a few things taken care of, and other than that, just sitting back here this evening, relaxing. Got to go do the dinner supper dishes there in a minute after we hang up with you and listen in for a bit. Mrs. is on a Teams meeting, so I mean, maybe on standby. She ended up having to say, give me the code from your account, so waited for the email to come in. Anyway, that's all taken care of. Hopefully she's all settled in now. Anyway, thanks for doing the net. Thanks for calling me in. Looking forward to checking in again next Wednesday evening. 7-3 to all. VE1 DVB, VE9 GC.
VE9GC, good evening to you, Gord. Always a pleasure to hear from you, sir. Yeah, we had about plus 1.5. I think we got up to plus 1.8 today here in the hills outside of Westville. And just enough to melt a little bit of the snow part of my driveway, but we're supposed to get about 5 degrees tomorrow. Hopefully it'll warm things up a little bit more and take some of that blasted snow with it. And good to hear about dinner. When I'm done the net here, I'm going to go out to the kitchen and get myself some chicken wings going. I got some good prices on some feet from Gateway Meats in Dartmouth the other day, so I'm going to make some chicken wings for supper and enjoy my nice little feast when I got the net over. Always a pleasure to hear from you, Gord. Appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 9 Golf Charlie, VE1 DVB 73. Next, we're going to call in Victor Echo 9 Sierra Victor. Good evening.
Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo 1 DVB, Victor Echo 9 Sierra Victor. Good evening, Dan, and to everyone on frequency. Yeah, well, I guess I do have an announcement. I was on the Trans-Canada Net there this afternoon, and I heard a gentleman out west saying they're permanently shutting down the weather radio and hello radio weather services there across Canada. Starting, I looked it up now, starting March 16th, it's going to be taken down. So basically it says anyone has not with that can basically you have to look up who's your local MP and bring your concerns up to them, or email them, or you can email the Minister Environment and Climate Change and Nature. You can message the minister basically and show your concerns and stuff. That's basically the only way that's going to change is if everybody would do it, because we're not a whole big group in Canada to change their mind, really. So if we really want to keep that, we really have to step up, I guess. But figured I'd share that. I just heard that today, and it's true. So I looked it up, and it seems to be happening shortly. So that's about it from here in St. Paul, and hope you have a good rest of your net. And 732 all, VE1 DVB, VE9 SV, 73.
Victor Echo 9 Sierra Victor, good evening to you, sir. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Yeah, I got an email from RAC at about 6:30 this evening giving us that information, and RAC is saying that they respect that there is, evolving communication standards, but they're noting that the weather radio service is a vital service for a lot of people, and they're hoping for continued dialogue with government, and I think continued dialogue is RAC's very polite way of saying we're not putting up with this crap and we need to harass some people about it. I know I'll be reaching out to my local MLA to say something about that, and hopefully enough people will do it. They might decide to keep some online. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Appreciate you having the bean of the pot, and we will be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 9 Sierra Victor, VE1 DVB 73. Do we have any other stations from New Brunswick? Any other stations from New Brunswick wishing to check in? Please come now.
Victor Echo 9, Mike Tango Victor, VE9 MTV.
V9 Oscar Sierra Kilo, V9 OSK.
Victor Echo 9, Golf Kilo.
Three fine stations right there. I got Victor Echo 9 Mike Tango Victor, Victor Echo 9 Oscar Sierra. Did we miss anyone in that block? Please come now. Alrighty then, let's go up to the Moncton area and talk to Mike. Victor Echo 9 Mike Tango Victor. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, Victor Echo 1 Delta Victor Bravo with the Maritime Fusion Net VE9 MTV. Good evening, Dan. Good evening to everyone on the net. I had Sam there just before me. Yeah, I know they got to cut a lot of services because they got to save money somewhere, but pick and choose where you want to cut. It's going to hurt somewhere. And yeah, you just kind of need the weather report. Otherwise, you can get trapped in a bad situation there. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. And yeah, beautiful day today. I had some chore. I went to the clubhouse this morning and had some chores to do and a little bit of grocery and picked up the wife and came back home. So yeah, we are expecting some snow probably tomorrow a little bit, but got most of the big dump there cleaned out and was enough snow that it was about 6 inches taller than the mouth of my snowblower. So I had to cut a little bit and then come back and forth there to get through it. So some places were heavier than others, and it was kind of compact snow too. It was not wet snow too much, but it was compact anyway. Yeah, it's sort of a lot more snow than we had last year, but not as much as we usually have. So I guess we're good. Anyway, Dan, have yourself a good net, and thanks for doing the net. And have yourself a great week, everyone. VE1DVB, VE9MTV, 73.
VE9MTV, good evening to you, sir. Always a pleasure to hear from you. And yeah, you're not kidding that it was wet and heavy snow. Here in Pictou County, it was pretty wet and heavy. In fact, I got out with the snowblower, and I didn't get as much snow as you did. It wasn't over the scoop, but holy boy, did it ever get packed into the auger some quick. I'd clean out the auger, and then I'd get about 5 feet, and have to clean out the auger again. It would pack itself right into that auger like a spool. I probably stopped that snowblower about 50 times with that spike little handle that they include with the snowblower to clean out the auger, and it was a frustrating, slow experience. My neighbor came over with his four-wheeler with the scoop on the front. He usually cleans out the mouth of the driveway for me when the plow goes by, and he said it was so thick and heavy his four-wheeler could not push it, so it was a real heavy mess. Appreciate you checking in with us, Mike. Appreciate you adding the bean to the pot, and I hope to talk to you soon. Victor Echo 9 Mike Tango Victor, the 1DVB 73. Next, let's go talk to Oscar. Victor Echo 9 Oscar Sierra Kilo. Good evening. Come on in.
Victor Echo 1, Delta Victor Bravo, Victor Echo 9 Oscar Sierra Kilo. Good evening, Dan, and everybody on Fusion Net tonight. I think we didn't have the same snow because definitely not the problem as far as clogging the snowblower. You probably had more wet snow than we did there. It was nice and dry here, so I guess that's an advantage when you have that much, for sure. Besides that, not too much. We did do some chatting with Mike there at the clubhouse this morning, and like we said, who was the biggest lie, and had a lot of fun. Thanks for doing that there, Dan. Thanks for calling me in, and have a good week, a good month coming up there, because it's the last few days of this month there. 7-3, Victor Echo 9, Oscar Sierra Kilo from the app.
Victor Echo 9 Oscar Sierra Kilo. Good evening to you, sir. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Yeah, that's an advantage with light and fluffy stuff. I've got about a 100-yard long driveway and a kind of a cut-up yard, and if it's light and fluffy, it takes me about 45 minutes to do the whole thing, and if it's heavy and wet, it takes me about an hour and a half. So you take what you can get. Appreciate you checking in, sir. Appreciate you having the bean to the pot, and we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 9 Oscar Sierra Kilo, the 1DVD 73. Next, checking on the list is Victor Echo 9 Golf Kilo. Good evening. Go ahead.
1DVD in the Maritime Fusion Net, Victor Echo 9 Golf Kilo returning. Yeah, good evening, Dan. Good evening to Oscar and Mike and Sam. They're just ahead of me. Yeah, no real traffic, but I did have a bit of an announcement here. The NSARA contest is coming on here Sunday, March the 1st. That's a DX contest on 80 meters there. It'll be on from 8 to 12 and then from 2 to 6, so 8 hours in total on the 80-meter band. Anybody wants to do a little bit of contesting, it's a great way to get started. So, yeah, that's coming up on Sunday, March the 1st here. Anyway, back to you, Dan. Thanks for doing the net there. Sounding good. We'll catch you again later. 7-3 for now.
Victor 9 Golf Kilo, good evening to you. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Sounds like Sunday might be a good time with the NSARA contest. I'll definitely throw on the radio and see what I can get. My multi-band vertical, I've got a 5BTV antenna, and it's not so greatly tuned on 80 meters, but I'm hearing that that's not a great antenna for 80 meters. I got a real narrow band where I get a low SWR down around 3.6 megahertz, but we'll see what we can do. Try and make a couple of contacts at the very least, and add the bean to the pot as I am a member of the NSARA. Appreciate you checking in, sir. Appreciate you having the bean to the pot. We'll be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 9 Golf Kilo, VE1 DVD 73. Now we're going to move on to Nova Scotia. Any stations from Nova Scotia wishing to check into tonight's Wednesday Night Fusion Net, please come now with your call sign, slowly and phonetically, to VE1 DVD, Nova Scotia.
Victor Echo 1, Bravo Tango Charlie Portable.
Victor Echo 1, Bravo Tango Charlie Portable. Good evening to you, Brendan. Although I'm not sure if I'm going to treat you like a portable station because I know you're cross-banding from a 40-foot antenna. Hi. You go ahead and come on in, sir.
V1 DVB, V1 BT. Good evening there, Sir Dan. Well, now you just told everybody that I'm cheating. How dare you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we're not doing too much here tonight. I was thinking about going on Amazon today and ordering a couple things, but I don't know. I was going to order another one of those little my scanner antenna so I can co-phase them, get in a little bit better. Don't know yet. Anyway, sir, you'll have yourself a super fine one, and we shall be chatting for sure. The VE1 DVB and the Maritime Fusion Net, VE1 BTC Portable. I was almost going to say Maritime Wake Up Net, but no, I couldn't do that. Catch you later.
Victor Echo 1, Bravo Tango Charlie. Good evening to you, Brendan. Excuse me, I should probably call you by your proper phonetics. Victor Echo 1, bring the coffee. Yeah, I spent a little bit of time on Amazon today in between some meetings at work, and I always like lots of toys I can find there, but I'm not always proud of giving my money to Jeff Bezos. It's not like he needs more cash for his big phallic-shaped rocket he's got going on there, but I was looking for a fairly cheap GPS receiver that you can, I found some schematics online where you can wire a very cheap GPS receiver, spend about $20-25 on one and wire it into a USB cable and get some power to it, and hook it into a Uniden 436 or Home Patrol 2. Rather than spend $150 to $200 on their GPS receiver, you can make one for about $40. So I was trolling some stuff there too. Always a pleasure to hear from you, Brendan. Always a pleasure to catch you on the frequency, and we will hear you tomorrow morning on the Maritime Fusion Wake Up Net. I'll be your net controller for Friday, and I'll be your DMR net controller for Saturday evening. End of the month is always a busy net control time for Dan. Talk to you soon, Brendan. Victor Echo 1, Bravo Tango Charlie Portable, VE1 DVB 73. Any other stations from Nova Scotia wishing to check in? Any other stations from Nova Scotia? Please come now with your call sign.
Victor Echo 1, Juliet Bravo Lima, VE1 JBL.
Two fine check-ins right there. VE1 Juliet Bravo Lima back with you in one moment. Victor Echo 1, Papa, India, November. I did see your call sign come up on the console here, but I didn't hear any modulation from your radio. So we'll see if you're there and looking to check in. VE1PIN, come on in.
Well, good evening, everyone. I got drenched there just after Mike and TV not too long ago, and then another time, and I guess I just discouraged, and I put the mic next to my lap. There were mobile, and that's Elise coming back from working in Woodstock office today, and I had stopped in Perth and Dover because my father was there at his girlfriend, and went to program a smart TV for him. So she came back to pick me up, and we had a good supper there, and we're just entering Grand Falls because we usually drive on the old highway. So we'll say 73 so all, and a pleasant evening, good rest of the week, stay safe, and tonight you're lucky you'll have a 2-for-1, so just a moment.
Hi everyone, it's Victor Echo 1 November Alpha Tango, Natalie, so nothing to report. Thank you for the animation of the net tonight. It's snowing lightly right now and -5, so have a great evening.
There's a real treat on the frequency. A 2-for-1 hit. Hi. Victor Echo 1, Papa, India, November. Pleasure to have you check in with us. Sounds like you had a nice drive through the northern part of New Brunswick. I always like driving through that area when I'm on my way somewhere, usually through to Quebec or on my way to Western Canada. And hope you enjoyed the time. Victor Echo 1, Papa, India, November, V1DVB, and Victor Echo 1, November, Alpha Tango. Good evening to you. Pleasure to hear from you. Sounds like you had some nice weather going on today. Appreciate you checking in with us. Sharing the mic is always a good thing between a couple. Hi. And we appreciate the check-in from both you folks. Victor Echo 1, Papa India November, and Victor Echo 1, November Alpha Tango, VE1 DVD 73. Next checking on the list is Victor Echo 1, Juliet Bravo Lima. Good evening to you. Go ahead.
Good evening, Dan, and all on frequency there. Just a quick check-in here from Tignish Bridge, and I just wanted to ask the question, did you finally get a hold of somebody to help you out on the morning wake-up net there? Go ahead.
No, still looking for folks to help out. I was going to make an announcement during the announcement section when it's my turn to do net control. I'm the regular Tuesday net controller, but we basically rotate. Brendan does Monday, V1 Bravo Tango Charlie. I do Tuesday. Mike, VE1MY, does Wednesday, and Robert, V1 Charlie Tango, does Thursday, and then the four of us rotate through the Friday. But appreciate you bringing that up here. We are looking for a Friday net controller for the Maritime 2-meter wake-up net. Though we are flexible about the days, we do switch around quite a bit, and if Fridays doesn't work for you, but you're able to do another day of the week, we would happily take on another net controller and give you whatever day of the week worked for you, and we'd move around the schedule if we needed to. Sometimes a little bit of a switch-up works. Appreciate you bringing that up, Jim. VE1JBL, come on back.
Yeah, okay, very good, Dan. Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there, see if anybody on the net here may be interested. And I will put another quick announcement. I should have did that first there, but just a reminder, everybody, that the registration page is now open for SMART in Spring Hill in May, and we're up to 90. I just noticed that today there's 90 that have registered so far there, so it's we're well on our way to having another great SMART there. So the website is a permanent website now. And it is smartevent.ca. That is smartevent.ca. So that's where you can go on and see everything that's going to be going on at the SMART this year and the registration form there. So if you're interested in going on there and get your registration done. That's it from here. Thanks, Dan. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll be chatting with you again there. VE1DVB from VE1JBL. Jim out here in Tignish Bridge, 7-3.
V1JVL, appreciate that information, sir. Always a pleasure to hear you check in. Appreciate you having me into the pod, and confirm that the Smart Event website is now a permanent website at smartevent.ca. Well, actually, was that .ca or .com?
.ca. It is .ca, and yeah, each year that I was running the website, I always put like smart24.ca, smart25.ca, and then when Robert took it over this year, he wanted to get one permanent name for it, so he picked the smartevent.ca, so that's what it'll be from going on forward here. Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate the confirmation, Jim. Appreciate you checking in tonight, and we will be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 1, Juliet Bravo Lima, VE1DVB 73. Alrighty, we're going to open this up to stations outside the Maritimes. Any stations outside the Maritimes wishing to check in, please come now with your call sign. Alrighty then, let's go back up to the top of the list and call in stations from Prince Edward Island for round 2. Second round of check-ins. Any station from PEI wishing to check in, please come now with your call sign. Alrighty then, let's move right along to New Brunswick. Round 2 for stations from New Brunswick. If you'd like to check in with us, please come now with your call sign. Stations from New Brunswick.
Victor Echo 9, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Uniform Bravo.
Victor Echo 9, Charlie Uniform Bravo. Good evening to you. Come on in.
01 DVB. This is Victor Echo 9, Charlie. Good evening to everybody on the Fusion Net tonight. No real traffic. I was just had some spare time, so I thought I'd just dial in and see how the net was going. Victor Echo 1 DVB. This is Victor Echo 9, Charlie Uniform Bravo. Thank you, sir, for doing the net, and again, calling me in.
Victor Echo 9, Charlie Uniform Bravo. Good evening to you, sir. Appreciate you checking in with us tonight. Always a pleasure to hear from you, and we will be talking to you soon. VE9CUB, VE1DVB 73. Any other stations from New Brunswick want to check in for round 2 to the Wednesday Night Fusion Net? Any other stations from New Brunswick, please come now. Alrighty then, moving right along to Nova Scotia for round 2. Any stations from Nova Scotia wishing to check into the Wednesday Night Fusion Net? Any Nova Scotia stations, please come now with your call sign. Victor Echo 1, Juliet Kilo Bravo. Victor Echo 1, Juliet Kilo Bravo. Good evening to you. Come on in. VE1DVB and the Maritime Fusion Net. VE1JKB. Good evening, Dan, and all on net. Just sitting here at my CAD workstation, working on a mounting bracket for an old Aspen PCS 6000. And I realized I was missing the net. Kind of went down a rabbit hole and lost track of time. I do that a lot, especially when I'm building something. Anyway, that's about it for here. I'll get back to my drawing. Just thought I'd give you another beam for the pot. Thanks for calling me in, and as always, thank you for running tonight's net.
I will then hand it back to you, Dan. I guess, what is it, our last Wednesday of the month. Hoorah. And getting closer to nicer weather. So 73s, everyone. Have a good night. VE1DBB from VE1JKB.
VE1JKB, good evening to you, sir. And I am well familiar with rabbit holes. I get down them quite a bit when I'm doing some research on some projects, or I'm elbow deep in a computer case rebuilding something. Currently trying to rebuild my TV server. I'm trying to set up a RAID array with some really old drives. I should probably know better, but every time I rebuild the array, the drive crashes on me. So, yeah, we live in some rabbit holes once in a while. Sometimes we even have dinner with the rabbits. Appreciate you checking in, sir. Appreciate you adding the beat to the pot, and hope you have a good time with that CAD software and your design. Victor Echo 1, Juliet, Kilo, Bravo, DVB 73. Now we're going to open it up to any stations from outside the Maritimes, any stations from outside the Maritimes wishing to check in. Please come now with your call sign.
This is Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo. Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo. VE2DE.
Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo, good evening to you. Come on in.
Okay, V1DVB, as I see I'm on display, I've just tuned in. Took a break on my multitasking. Hi. It's about minus 6-point-some degrees here. It's been 8 days. I've got a brand new weather station, but the accuracy is, unless I pay in a 4-digit range for Davis equipment, it's questionable. Hi. So at 6:45 p.m., I'm glad to be not missing the net altogether. I'm always watching the local news until 6:30 Eastern. So we had a bit of snow, and they're expecting snow until tomorrow morning. Slight snow, not too much snow falling right now. We hardly got an inch since this morning. So we should get 73s, and to you and everyone listening, didn't get your name. This is Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo. It's Don in Quebec City on V2 RFU repair.
Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo, good evening to you, sir. Appreciate you joining us from Quebec this evening. Sounds like. So I'm looking at my weather station. We got about minus 3.5 going on at the moment, but I've got one of those $200 jobbies from Amazon, so we'll take its accuracy for what it's worth. Appreciate you joining. Make it in, and we'll be talking to you soon. Victor Echo 2 Delta Echo, VE1DVB 73. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and open this up to any stations from anywhere wishing to check in. Any stations anywhere wishing to check in to the Wednesday Night Fusion Net, please come now with your call sign. Victor. Victor Echo 1 Juliet Charlie Sierra. Saw you come up there and heard the start of your transmission, but you got cut off halfway through. Not sure if that was a keying issue or a radio issue, but VE1JCS, come on in. Yeah, very good. VE1. Good evening, and bring me in. Not much going on here. Just coming from a day trip, and happy to get back into town. Other than that, great evening and a net and 7-3. V1JCS, good evening to you, sir. Glad you were able to come in towards the last bit of the net tonight. Oh, glad we caught you on the end of your road trip. Hope you had a safe and uneventful drive, and we've definitely got you recorded to the roster. VE1 Juliet Charlie Sierra, VE1 DVD 73. We're going to wrap it up soon, but I am going to make one more call for check-in to any other station who can hear my voice across these digital airwaves. If you'd like to join us for tonight's Wednesday Fusion Net, please come now with your call sign. Any stations from anywhere with Alrighty then, I think that wraps that up neatly, tidy, in a box with a bow on top. We're going to go ahead and bring the Wednesday Night Fusion Net to a close. We had 17 check-ins. We'd like to thank all the amateurs for checking in tonight. We also want to thank the owners of the repeaters and the nodes who linked in tonight for helping us expand the area for local hams to check in. For more information about the Maritime Fusion Net, go to the Moncton Area Amateur Radio Club website at www.maarc.ca. That is whiskey dot Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie dot Charlie Alpha, and click on the club activities /nets menu item. Now that that is concluded, the CQ Maritimes room is open for general use. My lips at work. CQ Maritimes room 60207 is open for general use. This is B1DVB signing off. Good night, everyone. 73. Have a great and safe evening. B1DVB.